All right, let's jump right in. We're going to tackle an idea today that might just flip how you think about technology. The whole point here is that coding isn't some strange alien language. It's actually just a reflection of the way your own brain already works every single day.
Okay, so let's start with this. Just take a second and let that sink in. It's a pretty bold claim, isn't it? The idea that your simple, maybe kind of chaotic morning has anything to do with building an app or a website.
And you know what? I'm going to prove it to you. This isn't just some clever line. It's actually the fundamental truth of what programming really is.
So let's start with your morning. Seriously, we're going to break it down, but not as, that groggy series of things you do. We're going to look at it as a sequence of pure logic and choices.
Because really, every single moment of your day, you're doing this. You're looking at what's happening, and you're making a choice. And that constant stream of decisions, well, that's the bedrock of how computer programs actually work.
Now, in the coding world, this has a fancy name, an I-else statement. But honestly, forget the jargon for a second. It's just a structured way of talking about making a decision. Your brain does this constantly, thousands of times a day without you even noticing. It checks a condition, like, hey, is it raining? And then it picks a path. If it is, you grab an umbrella. Else, you just leave it behind.
Let's go back to our morning routine. The condition is simple. The alarm goes off. If the alarm rings, what happens? You wake up. The alternative? Else. You miss your class. It's a super simple decision, right? But that is the exact logical structure a programmer types into a computer.
And right there, that's the big aha moment. See, programming didn't invent this logic. Life did. We've been running on if-else logic since the dawn of time.
Okay, so if decisions are one huge piece of the puzzle, let's talk about the other one, repetition. And just like making choices, you're already a total pro at this.
Right, so in the coding world, they call this a loop. And again, don't let the word throw you. It's a concept you already live and breathe. It's just doing the same thing over and over until you have a good reason to stop.
I mean, think about it. Brushing your teeth, you're repeating that brushing motion. You're not counting every single stroke. You're just in a loop. Or walking to the store, you're basically running a loop. Repeat step until destination is reached. Even something like a traffic light is a perfect, super simple loop, just cycling through its colors over and over.
So here's the thing. Computers are amazing at this stuff. They can run these loops millions, even billions of times a second and never get tired. But, and this is a huge but, they have one big weakness. They're not smart. You have to tell them exactly when to stop. And that brings us to a really cool idea, the human bug. Because when we, the humans, fail to give those super clear instructions, well, that's when things go haywire. And this is where the link between our everyday logic and coding errors just becomes so clear.
So let me ask you a question. Knowing what we just talked about, that loops need an exit, what do you think is the #1 most common mistake a beginner programmer makes?
It's this, the infinite loop. They forget to tell the computer when to stop, so the program gets completely stuck, repeating the same action forever and ever, all because its instructions were incomplete. It was told how to start, but never how to finish.
And you want to know the perfect real-life version of this? It's a traffic light that's stuck on red. Forever. The whole system is broken. Nobody can move. It's pure chaos, and it's all caused by one tiny flaw in the original instructions.
All right, let's tie this all together. We've seen how making decisions and repeating things, if-else and loops, aren't some weird computer concepts. They're human concepts. So, what does that really tell us about what coding actually is? Okay, here it is. This might be the most important thing to take away from all of this. Most errors in a program, most bugs, they aren't actually about mistyping a command or forgetting a piece of punctuation. They're thinking problems. The bug, the error, it already existed in the flawed logic, in the plan, before anyone even wrote a single line of code. The traffic light was basically designed to never turn green from the start. The error was in the idea, not just the typing.
And when you get right down to it, this is all it is. Code is just decision-making, written down so clearly that even a dumb machine can understand it. If you can think through a process, if you can map out all the choices and all the repetitions in a logical way, you've already done the hard part. Learning the specific language is just the final translation.
So, I'm going to leave you with this. The biggest hurdle to learning how to code isn't about being a math genius or a tech wizard. It's about clarity of thought. Seriously, if you can explain your logic out loud, step by step in plain English, you can code it. You've already got the blueprint. You're already thinking like a programmer. You just need to learn a few new words.